Hello my friends, my name is Juan. Today we are going to speak about triggers at n8n. Is one part of the basic steps of n8n, and I invite you to stay with me to learn a little bit. And if you are a beginner, I hope this video helps you. And let's take a look at my screen. Right here is my notes and triggers dictionary. So let's take a look at the trigger manually. The trigger manually is it runs the workflow when you click a button. Simple example, you click execute workflow to test if an email is sent correctly. Right? It's a simple trigger and it's very easy to understand how it works. Right? Let's take a look at it. This is a trigger manually. This is our trigger, and you can find it at the open nodes panel. Let's take a look at it. Add another trigger, and here it is, trigger manually. When you click, you already have your first trigger at n8n. Right? Let's take a look at the parameters. You can see we don't have any parameters. You don't have to set anything here. So the simple way to make it work is to click at this button, execute workflow. When you click at execute workflow, you can see at the executions that your workflow was executed. What is the use cases for this kind of trigger? First of all, you need this kind of trigger when you are building your workflow. When you are building your workflow, you need to test a lot of times. Many times you need to test your workflow, and you need this trigger to trigger your workflow. For example, you are building a workflow that is triggered by an email you received or a form submission. Instead of receiving this form submission or receiving this email, you simulating sending this email to your workflow every time that you need to test your workflow. You can use the trigger manually to trigger your workflow, and when it is ready, you can change this trigger to the main trigger you need and activate your workflow. Other use case for this kind of trigger is, think about a company. At this company, you know about a lot of analysis you need to do, and there is some analysis you need to do every week, every month, every year. That is another kind of analysis that you know that exists, but you don't know when someone will ask it for you. For example, you have a manager that asks for you a 1 report and asks for you to send it for your stakeholders, and you don't know when this manager will ask it for you. So you build your workflow and you need to use the trigger manually. Here we have a workflow with reports. Let's think about the reports that your manager likes. The last 30 days audios report, last 30 days 1 report, last 3 days new companies report, last 30 days sales representatives activities report. And you didn't know about this demand, but you already know that one day he could ask it for you. So you use this trigger and click at execute workflow, and let's see it working. This is our trigger. This is the use case. You must know about this trigger if you are working with n8n. And if you want help to learn about n8n, if you are learning about automations, if you're learning about AI agents, and you need help with your first steps, I have a mentorship program that takes you from the beginner steps to the advanced steps in a faster way. Right? It's a one-on-one meeting, and we can talk about your needs, we can talk about your goals. Right? I will add the link at the description. See you at the next video.